Yeah,
Wow.
one thing I wanted to highlight too, from what you said earlier, you talked about having this passion and purpose. And I think with the Patriots path, which is what this is about, we're around a lot of people right now, Steve, that with what we're doing that are awesome people like Scott. And what we're finding time and time again with them is it's more about the mission they're on, and also seeing the battle in their local. A lot of this is local community. In fact, Steve is coming to my county in tomorrow, and speaking at a local group of people that are have stood up in Pennsylvania against
Beautiful.
some of the tyrannical activities of our governor, and it's all about this local activity, and taking that very serious. But it takes courage. And I just wanted to ask you, Scott, just in closing here, and I'll let Steve kind of wrap it. Steve, maybe you want to bring this in, but for a landing here, but this idea of the courageous patriot, and it's this person who has passion and purpose, but then there's this vision. You see something out there, and you believe there's something better, and you have hope. Because our channel, Steve, what we've built here is about giving people this optimistic view of life. And the past few months, people have not been too happy with us being optimistic, but we are not letting that go. We refuse. And the reason is we're courageous patriots. And that's why we've built this courageous patriot path, because we've seen this necessary need in our culture for people to have hope of, what do I do? What's the next step? So Steve, maybe you can kind of tie that in, and with you and Scott here, just kind of, talking about this idea of courage and entrepreneurship, and why what we're doing with this Patriot Live event is so key.
Well, I'm so grateful to be part of it. Steve, if you want to run with that first, go ahead. If you'd like me to,
go ahead, Scott.
Happy to take the floor.
Yeah, no, go right ahead, Scott. Yeah.
What you guys are doing here and what you've built is really something that is needed today more than I believe ever. The courageous patriot path it's something that couldn't be more timely. There's been, in my mind, a lot of fear mongering. There's been, uncertainty related to pandemic response, governmental overreach during the pandemic. Am I going to kill grandma just because I try and go show her some love? Is the vaccine, is it properly tested? Is it have the efficacy? Why are, let's say, opposing or different viewpoints questioned or silenced? Why can't people communicate with one another? Why has our right to assembly been tamped down unless we're part of the narrative? And so all of those things are the fear that it's out there. And what I always want to remind people, look, any new journey that you starts with fear of the unknown, because you don't know what you're going to encounter. Did I prepare well enough? Did I plan for a long enough journey? But the difference, as they say, between the hero and the coward isn't that they feel fear. Everybody feels fear. It's that the hero presses on. And like we started today, you're the hero of your own story. You cannot reach your destiny by shrinking back in fear. And this is a great nation. It's one of the only nations in history that has empowered the individual to go out and achieve whatever their ambitions are based upon their own merit and their own work ethic. I have to tell you, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm not the hardest working guy necessarily in the room. I've seen plenty of guys who put in a day's labor that would probably kill most of us, right? But they're not following their own path and their own journey because they're afraid of getting outside of that box. And I want everybody to know that you have the courage within you. If you've been inspired to have a dream, that dream is not only there, to give you something to focus on while you're daydreaming. It's not a distraction. It's a voice inside of you calling you to your destiny. And you have got to unleash the courage to be able to find it. Because if you'll do that, I'm going to be there to support you. My team is going to do it. This environment that you've created is going to do it. And not everybody's going to want commercial real estate. Nobody's interested in creating financial wealth. But for those who do, we'll be one of the solutions. And there's going to be many that you're going to offer over the years. But I'm grateful to be part of this path. I think it's absolutely something that's necessary. And I have to tell you that if I didn't have the courage, when I had reached the lowest point in my life after that failed business at that time financially, devastated, destroyed, credibility, credit score gone. If I didn't have the courage to pick myself back up because I knew that there was something better out there for me, I just think about the tens of thousands and millions of lives that wouldn't have been touched, and all of the things and the good that they're going to do. And it really is pushing through that fear. So, to me, what your message is and what you're really putting out there, it's maybe one of the most noble causes that I'm aware of today.
Wow, that's why I ain't gonna add to that. That's great. I don't know how to follow that. Beautiful. You are, I think, officially now Professor Scott on this channel. I think we're gonna
I
put
love
a
it.
Prof Scott on there.
Thank
And gang, I got to tell you, you can see Scott virtually June 4th and 5th at the Patriot Entrepreneur Live event,
you. Can't wait.
virtual event, or you can go out and see him in person in Vegas. Either way, Jake, Scott, Scheel, you are a treasure. Thank you, my friend, so much for being with us.
Dr. Steve Turley, thank you so much for sharing your time, your audience, your expertise, your passion with so many of us. Keep up the faith, keep up the good work, and anything you need from me, my phone always rings 24/7.
Oh, man. God bless.
Peace. God bless. Thanks, gentlemen.